They don't want you to know this. Right now, at this very moment, there's a war being waged, not with bullets or bombs, but with something far more insidious. A war for your mind, a war for your soul. And here's the terrifying truth. You're losing. Not because you're weak, not because you're foolish, but because the weapons being used against you are invisible, sophisticated, and designed by some of the most brilliant psychological warfare experts who ever lived. In 1953, the CIA launched a program called MK-Ultra. Declassified documents prove they spent decades perfecting techniques to control human consciousness. The program officially ended in 1973. But did it really end? Or did it just go mainstream? Look at your life right now. Really look at it. Does it feel like yours? Or does it feel like you're living someone else's script? Going through motions you never consciously chose? There's a reason for that feeling, and it's not your imagination. Edward Bernays, the father of modern propaganda, wrote in 1928, "The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society." Read that again. Manipulation of the masses in a democratic society, not as a warning, as a goal. So who exactly are they? Let me be crystal clear. They are the attention merchants, the social media platforms that profit from your distraction, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, every platform engineered by behavioral psychologists to hijack your dopamine system. They are the pharmaceutical corporations that pathologize normal human emotion to sell you chemical dependency. They are the intelligence agencies whose declassified documents prove decades of consciousness manipulation research. MK-Ultra wasn't an aberration. It was a blueprint. They are the educational institutions that replaced critical thinking with standardized compliance testing. They are the media conglomerates owned by 6 corporations that manufacture your reality through carefully curated fear programming. This isn't conspiracy theory. These are documented, verifiable systems. And they all have one thing in common. They profit when you're disconnected from your authentic self. Dr. Jose Delgado, a neuroscientist who literally implanted electrodes in human brains, stated in 1969, "Physical control of the mind is a goal as revolutionary as atomic power." He wasn't warning us. He was announcing the agenda. Your mind is the battlefield. Your soul is the prize. And the war is happening right now, in this moment, as you watch this video. The Mind Weaponization Matrix Exposed. Let me show you how the matrix actually works. Not in theory, in your daily life. Every morning, what's the first thing you do? Before you've even fully regained consciousness, before you've connected with your own thoughts, you reach for your phone. That's not an accident. That's behavioral conditioning. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day, every 10 minutes. That's not usage, that's compulsion, that's addiction, that's systematic hijacking of your attention. And here's what most people don't understand. Your attention isn't just being stolen, it's being harvested, weaponized, sold. In the 1960s, psychologist Stanley Milgram proved that ordinary people would administer what they believed were lethal electric shocks to strangers simply because an authority figure told them to. 65% of participants went all the way to the maximum voltage. The Stanford prison experiment showed how quickly normal people adopt toxic roles when placed in manipulative systems. These weren't studies about human nature. They were blueprints for social control. Let me give you 12 specific tactics you encounter every single day. See how many you recognize. Tactic 1. Infinite scroll. There's no bottom to your feed, no natural stopping point. This exploits your brain's novelty-seeking mechanism. Each scroll triggers a microdose of dopamine, keeping you in a loop. The same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Tactic 2. Variable reward scheduling. Sometimes you get likes immediately, sometimes you don't. This unpredictability is more addictive than consistent rewards. It's the same psychology casinos use. Tactic 3. Social proof manipulation. Those little numbers next to posts, they're not just information. They're psychological triggers that tell you what to think, what to value, what's important. Tactic 4. FOMO engineering. Stories that disappear. Limited time offers, live streams, all designed to create artificial urgency and anxiety about missing out. Tactic 5. Notification hijacking. That red dot isn't serving you, it's training you. Pavlov's dog, but the bell is in your pocket. Tactic 6. Autoplay everything. Videos, episodes, music. Removing the decision point removes your agency. You become passive, receptive, programmable. Tactic 7. Algorithmic rage amplification. Research from MIT proves that false information spreads 6 times faster than truth on social media. Why? Because platforms discovered that anger drives engagement. So they amplify content that makes you angry. Tactic 8. Parasocial relationship exploitation. Influencers aren't your friends, but they're designed to feel like friends. This creates emotional investment that translates to attention and purchasing behavior. Tactic 9. Manufactured inadequacy. Every feed is curated highlight reels designed to make your real life feel insufficient. This creates a perpetual state of lack that drives consumption. Tactic 10. Cognitive load overload. Multiple tabs, constant notifications, endless options. This isn't accidental chaos. Overwhelm makes you suggestible. Decision fatigue makes you compliant. Tactic 11. Dark pattern design. Unsubscribe buttons that don't work. Privacy settings buried in menus. Consent forms designed to confuse. These aren't bugs, they're features. Tactic 12. Attention residue. Even after you close the app, part of your mind is still there, wondering about responses, crafting future posts. This fragmentation is the goal. A fragmented mind is a controllable mind. Neuroscience research published in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that limiting social media use to 30 minutes per day leads to significant reductions in loneliness and depression. But here's the key finding. It's not just about time. It's about the neurological rewiring that happens when your brain is constantly in reactive mode rather than reflective mode. Your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for forming long-term memories, requires sustained attention to function. Studies show it takes 23 minutes of uninterrupted focus to reach deep cognitive engagement. How often do you get 23 uninterrupted minutes? This is why your days blur together. Why you can't remember what you did last week. Why time feels like it's accelerating. It's not age. It's not stress. It's systematic memory disruption. They call it brain fog. But brain fog isn't a symptom. It's a strategy, a feature, not a bug. A foggy mind doesn't question, doesn't resist, doesn't remember who it used to be. The soul-mind disconnect strategy. But the attack goes deeper than your mind. It targets something more fundamental, your soul. Now, I know some of you just felt resistance to that word. That's intentional. You've been conditioned to dismiss spiritual language as unscientific, primitive, irrelevant. That conditioning is part of the strategy. Because here's what they don't want you to know. Your soul is your connection to truth, to intuition, to knowing what's real beyond what you're told to believe. And a person connected to their soul is impossible to control. Carl Jung understood this. He wrote, "Your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." The entire system is designed to keep you looking outside, at screens, at other people's lives, at manufactured problems and prescribed solutions. Never inside, never at your own heart, never at your own truth. So how do you know if your intuition is being blocked? Here are the signs. Sign 1. You second-guess everything. You can't make simple decisions without consulting external sources. Google, friends, reviews. You've lost trust in your own knowing. Sign 2. You feel numb, not sad, not anxious, just flat, disconnected, going through motions. This is your soul trying to get your attention through absence. Sign 3. You can't be alone with yourself. Silence feels uncomfortable. You need constant input, podcasts, music, TV, anything to avoid hearing your own thoughts. Sign 4. Your body speaks but you don't listen. That tension in your chest during certain interactions, that gut feeling about people or situations, you notice it, then immediately rationalize it away. Sign 5. You've lost your sense of purpose. You're busy but nothing feels meaningful. You're productive but nothing feels important. You're moving but you don't know where you're going. Sign 6. You seek validation constantly. Every thought needs external confirmation. Every decision needs approval. You've outsourced your internal compass. Sign 7. Synchronicities stopped. You used to notice meaningful coincidences, patterns, signs. Now life feels random, mechanical, dead. If you recognized yourself in 3 or more of these signs, your intuition isn't just blocked. It's been systematically dismantled. Research from the HeartMath Institute proves something extraordinary. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain. This field extends several feet beyond your body and carries information. They've documented heart-brain coherence, a measurable state where your heart and brain synchronize. In this state, intuition sharpens, decision-making improves, stress decreases. But here's the key. This coherence requires something the system is designed to prevent. Presence, stillness, internal attention. Studies on meditation and neuroplasticity show that just 8 weeks of mindfulness practice creates measurable changes in brain structure. The amygdala, your fear center, shrinks. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for awareness and decision-making, thickens. Your brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired. But rewiring requires sustained, focused attention on internal states. Everything in the system is designed to prevent that. Meet Sarah. She's 32. She used to paint, used to write poetry, had this vibrant inner world. Now she scrolls, consumes content about creativity instead of creating, watches other people live instead of living herself. She can't remember the last time she felt truly inspired, truly alive, truly herself. Sarah isn't lazy. She isn't broken. Her energy field has been systematically compromised. Her soul-mind connection has been severed. She's been energetically vampirized. And if you're honest with yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's happening to you too. The fear frequency programming system. Now let's talk about the most powerful control mechanism of all, fear. Not the healthy fear that keeps you safe. The manufactured chronic low-grade anxiety that keeps you compliant. Turn on the news, any channel, anytime. What do you see? Crisis, threat, danger, conflict, disaster. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. An endless stream of fear programming. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." He wasn't being poetic. He was being literal. Because here's what neuroscience has proven. Fear doesn't just feel bad. It fundamentally changes how your brain processes reality. When your amygdala, your brain's fear center, is activated, your prefrontal cortex, responsible for critical thinking and rational analysis, goes offline. You stop thinking. You start reacting. And a reactive population is a controllable population. Research published in the journal Biological Psychiatry shows that fear conditioning, the process of associating neutral stimuli with threat, creates lasting changes in brain structure. The amygdala becomes hyperactive. The hippocampus, responsible for context and memory, shrinks. This means you become more reactive to perceived threats and less able to distinguish real danger from manufactured panic. This isn't accidental. This is the goal. Let me explain exactly what happens in your body when you consume fear-based news. The physiological cascade. Within milliseconds of perceiving threat, your hypothalamus triggers your sympathetic nervous system. Adrenaline floods your bloodstream. Your heart rate spikes. Your blood pressure rises. Cortisol, your stress hormone, begins pumping. This is the fight or flight response. It's designed for immediate physical threats, predators, accidents, real danger. But here's the problem. Your nervous system can't distinguish between a real threat and a perceived threat, between a tiger in front of you and a news story about a crisis happening thousands of miles away. So you get the full physiological response, but there's no action to take, no resolution, just sustained activation. The chronic impact. Chronic cortisol elevation suppresses your immune system, disrupts your sleep, impairs memory formation, increases inflammation, accelerates aging. But the psychological impact is even more insidious. Sustained fear creates learned helplessness. You begin to believe the world is more dangerous than it actually is. You become risk-averse, change-resistant, authority-dependent. The immunity protocol. So, how do you become immune? 3 steps. Step 1. Recognize the pattern. Every fear-based news story follows the same formula. Problem, reaction, solution. The problem is amplified. Your reaction is manipulated. The solution is prescribed. This is psychological warfare, not information. Step 2. Interrupt the physiological response. When you feel that fear activation, that chest tightness, that anxiety spike, immediately engage your parasympathetic nervous system. Deep breathing. 4 counts in, hold for 4, 6 counts out. This is not woo-woo. This is vagal nerve activation. It literally shifts your nervous system out of threat response. Step 3. Reality tests the threat. Ask yourself, is this danger immediate and personal? Can I take action right now? If the answer is no, you're being manipulated. Disengage. Studies from the Nieman Journalism Lab on the psychological drivers of misinformation show that emotional arousal, especially fear and anger, makes people more likely to believe and share false information. Why? Because emotion bypasses critical analysis. You feel first, think later, or not at all. The system knows this. The system uses this. Every algorithm is optimized for emotional engagement, not truth, not nuance, not context, emotion. And the most powerful emotion for control is fear. When you're afraid, you don't question authority. You seek it. You don't think critically. You think tribally. You don't create. You consume. Fear is the frequency that disconnects you from your soul and connects you to the control system. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You can change your frequency. You can become immune. You can reclaim your nervous system. It starts with awareness, and it ends with sovereignty. Digital mind control weapons. Let's get specific. Let's name names. Because the most sophisticated mind control weapons aren't in government labs anymore. They're in your pocket, on your wrist, in your home. And they're designed by the smartest behavioral psychologists and neuroscientists money can buy. Here's the truth about the platforms you use every day. Facebook and Instagram, the comparison engine. These platforms are engineered around a single psychological exploit: social comparison. Research shows that passive social media consumption, just scrolling and observing, increases depression and loneliness. Why? Because you're constantly comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. This creates a perpetual state of inadequacy. But here's the insidious part. Facebook's own internal research, leaked by whistleblower Frances Haugen, proved that Instagram is toxic for teenage girls' mental health. They knew it. They buried it. They optimized for engagement anyway. Specific toxic features. The like counter quantifies your social worth into a number. Stories creates FOMO and urgency. Explore page. Algorithmic rabbit holes designed to keep you scrolling. Reels. TikTok clone optimized for maximum time consumption. TikTok, the attention annihilator. TikTok is the most sophisticated attention harvesting technology ever created. The average session length is 52 minutes. The algorithm learns your preferences faster than any other platform. How? By tracking not just what you like, but how long you watch, when you rewatch, what you share, what you skip. Micro-behavioral data harvested at scale. The result, a feed so personalized, so optimized for your specific dopamine triggers that it's nearly impossible to stop watching. Specific toxic features. Infinite vertical scroll. No natural stopping point. Autoplay. Removes decision-making. 15 to 60-second videos. Trains your brain for rapid context switching. For You page. Algorithmic perfection of your attention capture. YouTube, the radicalization pipeline. YouTube's recommendation algorithm is designed for one thing: Watch time. The longer you watch, the more ads they serve, the more money they make. Research from the University of California shows that YouTube's algorithm systematically recommends increasingly extreme content. You start with a moderate political video. Within 3 clicks, you're watching conspiracy theories. This isn't a bug. It's the algorithm working exactly as designed. Extreme content generates strong emotional reactions. Strong emotions drive engagement. Engagement drives profit. Specific toxic features. Autoplay, next video. Removes stopping points. Recommendation sidebar. Algorithmic rabbit holes. Notification bell. Creates artificial urgency. Premiere countdowns. FOMO. Engineering. Twitter/X, the outrage machine. Twitter is optimized for one emotion: anger. Studies prove that tweets with moral emotional language get retweeted 20% more for each additional moral emotional word. The platform rewards hot takes, dunks, and tribal signaling. Nuance dies. Context disappears. Everything becomes a battle. Specific toxic features. Character limit prevents nuance. Quote, tweet enables public shaming. Trending topics. Manufactured urgency. Ratio culture. Gamifies humiliation. Snapchat. The streak trap. Snapchat pioneered the streak mechanic. Send a snap to someone every day, maintain your streak. Miss a day, lose everything. This creates artificial obligation. Teens report anxiety about maintaining streaks. They'll send meaningless snaps just to keep the number going. This is operant conditioning. This is Skinner box psychology. This is treating humans like lab rats. Specific toxic features. Streaks. Creates artificial obligation. Snap map. Location surveillance gamified. Disappearing messages. Reduces accountability. Filters. Distorts self-image and reality perception. LinkedIn. The professional performance theater. LinkedIn has turned professional networking into performative hustle culture. Every post is a humble brag. Every update is personal branding. Authenticity is replaced with strategic self-promotion. Specific toxic features. Engagement bait posts. Agree. Thoughts? Hustle culture glorification. Sleep is for the weak. Performative vulnerability. Trauma as content. Algorithm favoring controversy. Professional outrage. Research from the Center for Research on Media, Technology and Health shows that high social media use is associated with increased depression, anxiety, and poor sleep quality across all platforms. But the most damning research comes from neuroscience. Brain imaging studies show that smartphone addiction creates the same neural patterns as cocaine addiction, the same dopamine pathways, the same compulsive behavior, the same withdrawal symptoms. Tristan Harris, former Google design ethicist and creator of the documentary The Social Dilemma, has been trying to warn us. He calls it human downgrading, the systematic exploitation of psychological vulnerabilities for profit. These platforms aren't neutral tools. They're behavior modification systems. And you're not the customer, you're the product. Your attention is being sold. Your behavior is being shaped. Your consciousness is being colonized. And every notification, every like, every scroll is training you to be more reactive, more distracted, more controllable. the Soul Defense Protocol. But here's the good news. And yes, there is good news. You can fight back. You can reclaim your mind. You can reconnect with your soul. Not through some abstract spiritual practice, through concrete neuroscience-backed protocols that work. Here's your Soul Defense Protocol. 3 tiers: morning, midday, evening. Each tier builds your resistance and strengthens your sovereignty. Tier 1. Morning Sovereignty Protocol. First 60 minutes after waking. Step 1. The Sacred Hour. Do not touch your phone for the first 60 minutes after waking. Not for email, not for news, not for anything. Why? Because the first hour after waking is when your brain transitions from theta to alpha to beta waves. This is when your subconscious is most programmable. If the first input is external, reactive, fear-based, you've set your nervous system to threat mode for the entire day. Instead, use this hour for internal input: meditation, journaling, movement, creation. Step 2. Heart-brain coherence. Practice. Research from HeartMath Institute shows that 5 minutes of heart-focused breathing creates measurable coherence between your heart and brain. The technique: place your hand on your heart. Breathe slowly. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. As you breathe, imagine breathing through your heart. Feel gratitude for something specific. This isn't woo-woo. This is measurable biofeedback. This practice reduces cortisol, increases DHEA, your anti-aging hormone, and synchronizes your nervous system. Step 3. Intention setting. Before you engage with the world, decide who you're going to be today. Not what you're going to do, who you're going to be. Write it down. 1 sentence. Today I am present, sovereign, creative, compassionate, whatever resonates. This creates a conscious identity anchor. When the system tries to pull you into reactivity, you have something to return to. Tier 2. Midday Defense Protocol, 1200 to 1300. Step 4. The Digital Detox Hour. 1 hour in the middle of your day. No screens, no phone, no computer, no TV. Use this hour to reconnect with physical reality. Walk outside. Feel sunlight. Touch grass. Eat food without distraction. Studies on nature exposure show that just 20 minutes in nature reduces cortisol levels by 21%. Your nervous system needs this reset. Step 5. Body reconnection. Your body holds wisdom your mind has forgotten. Spend 10 minutes doing a body scan. Close your eyes. Bring attention to your feet, then ankles, calves, knees. Work your way up your entire body. Notice tension. Notice numbness. Notice what your body is trying to tell you. This practice rebuilds the mind-body connection that the system has severed. Step 6. Creative expression. Do something creative. Not for an audience, not for productivity, for your soul. Draw, write, sing, dance, play an instrument. Build something with your hands. Research on creativity and mental health shows that creative expression activates the default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for self-referential thought and meaning-making. This is your soul speaking. Let it. Tier 3. Evening Liberation Protocol. Last 90 minutes before sleep. Step 7. Digital Sunset. No screens 90 minutes before sleep. None. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production and disrupts circadian rhythm. But the psychological impact is worse. The last inputs before sleep program your subconscious. If those inputs are fear, comparison, and distraction, that's what your subconscious processes all night. Step 8. Gratitude Inventory. Write down 3 specific things you're grateful for. Not generic, specific. Not, I'm grateful for my family, but I'm grateful for the way my daughter laughed at breakfast this morning. Neuroscience research shows that gratitude practice literally rewires your brain. It strengthens neural pathways associated with positive emotion and weakens pathways associated with threat detection. You're reprogramming your default mode from fear to appreciation. Step 9. Consciousness Review. Before sleep, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. When was I most present today? 2. When did I react unconsciously? 3. Who was I today, and who do I want to be tomorrow? This practice builds metacognition, the ability to observe your own consciousness. This is the foundation of sovereignty. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "The present moment is the only time over which we have dominion." These 9 steps aren't about perfection. They're about reclaiming dominion over your attention, over your nervous system, over your soul. Research on mindfulness meditation, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, shows that 8 weeks of practice produces significant improvements in anxiety, depression, and pain. But more importantly, brain imaging shows actual structural changes. Your amygdala shrinks, your prefrontal cortex thickens, your hippocampus, responsible for memory and learning, grows. You're not just feeling better. You're becoming neurologically different. You're becoming harder to control. This is your defense protocol. This is how you protect your soul in a system designed to harvest it. Breaking free. The complete liberation system. Defense is necessary, but it's not enough. You don't just want to protect yourself from the system. You want to break free from it entirely. You want liberation. Here's your 30-day soul sovereignty program with measurable milestones so you know it's working. Week 1. Awareness, days 1 to 7. Goal: become conscious of your unconsciousness. Daily practice. Track every time you reach for your phone without intention. Just notice. Don't judge, just count. Measurable milestone. By day 7, you should notice a 30 to 40% reduction in unconscious phone reaching. This is awareness creating change. Week 2. Interruption. Days 8 to 14. Goal: interrupt automatic patterns. Daily practice. Every time you notice the urge to check your phone, pause for 10 seconds. Breathe. Then decide consciously whether to proceed. Measurable milestone. By day 14, you should be able to delay gratification for at least 60 seconds. This is impulse control returning. Week 3. Replacement. Days 15 to 21. Goal: replace destructive patterns with nourishing ones. Daily practice. Every time you would have scrolled, do something creative instead, even for 2 minutes. Draw, write, stretch. Measurable milestone. By day 21, you should have created something tangible, a journal entry, a sketch, a song. This is your soul speaking again. Week 4. Integration. Days 22 to 30. Goal: make sovereignty your default state. Daily practice: full implementation of the 3-tier soul defense protocol. Morning, midday, evening. Measurable milestone. By day 30, you should notice improved sleep quality, measurable via sleep tracking. Increased focus duration. Can you read for 30+ minutes without distraction? Emotional stability, fewer reactive outbursts. Creative output. Have you created something you're proud of? Intuitive clarity. Can you make decisions without external validation? Research on neuroplasticity and consciousness from the journal Frontiers in Psychology shows that 30 days of consistent practice creates lasting neural changes. You're not just changing habits, you're changing your brain structure. You're becoming a different person. Ancient wisdom traditions understood something. Modern science is only now proving. Consciousness is not fixed. It's fluid, trainable, expandable. Meditation, breathwork, creative expression. These aren't primitive practices. They're the most advanced consciousness technologies ever developed. And they're free. They're accessible. They're yours. The system can't monetize your inner silence, can't harvest your creative flow, can't control your sovereign consciousness. That's why these practices have been systematically marginalized, dismissed as unscientific, mocked as woo-woo. Because people operating at their full cognitive and spiritual potential are impossible to control. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not addicted because you lack willpower. You are up against the most sophisticated psychological manipulation systems ever created, designed by the smartest behavioral scientists money can buy, optimized by artificial intelligence, and deployed at global scale. The fact that you're watching this video means you're already winning. You're already aware. You're already fighting back. Now it's time to complete your liberation. So here we are, at the end of this journey, but really, at the beginning of yours. Everything I've shared with you today, you already knew, deep down, in that part of you that the system hasn't reached yet. Your soul has been trying to get your attention through that vague unease, that sense that something isn't right, that feeling that you're living someone else's life. That's not paranoia. That's not anxiety. That's your authentic self calling you home. The world desperately needs people who've reclaimed their minds, who've reconnected with their souls, who've remembered who they really are. Not because you're special, but because you're human. And humanity is under attack. Your consciousness is not a commodity. Your attention is not a resource to be extracted. Your soul is not for sale. You are not a user. You are a human being. And it's time to remember what that means. I've created a 30-day soul sovereignty challenge. A private community where people just like you are implementing these protocols, sharing their experiences, and supporting each other through the liberation process. This isn't a course. It's not a program. It's a movement of people who refuse to be controlled, who refuse to be harvested, who refuse to forget who they are. The link is in the description. Join us. Not because you need saving, but because we need you. The system is powerful, but it's not more powerful than a human being who's remembered their sovereignty. Are you ready to remember? Your soul is waiting.